Good evening everyone and welcome to Theme Park Worldwide. Yes, I'm back with another live stream. I'd just like to thank all of you that are joining me live here on YouTube for this stream tonight. So yes, you've seen the title of the video. It is nearly time. The moment that we've all been waiting for is nearly here. And that's theme parks here in the United Kingdom are set to reopen starting from this Saturday, the 4th of July 2020. Good evening to everyone who is joining us. So yes, in this video, first I'm going to be talking about theme parks that are reopening from this weekend. Following on from that, then going to be talking about theme parks that are opening a little bit later. And following on from that, I'm just going into what we're going to be doing as a channel this summer. So, it's already been an exciting start to the year. Of course, back earlier in 2020, I went out there and did a California trip. Following on from that, then carried on doing as much content as I could do during the lockdown. And I actually did the first ever Theme Park Worldwide live stream back at the start of the lockdown, and it was all about theme parks, of course, not being able to open. So it's really nice to have some positivity and think that this is it. From Saturday, it's going to be the start of something quite awesome with the theme parks reopening again. I'm just going to turn the music down a little bit because I'm not too sure how loud that's coming through for you guys. Got a bit of Galactica just to start us off. But yeah, so I just want to say a big thank you firstly to everyone who has stuck with Theme Park Worldwide throughout what has been a very difficult time, of course, with COVID-19. And once again, I'd just like to say an extended thank you to all of those key workers out there that have kept this country going. Honestly, you've all done an absolutely amazing job. But finally, we're starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel. Of course, with the theme parks opening on the 4th of July, that doesn't mean that COVID-19 is over. Of course not. We all need to make sure that we're following all of these different restrictions. We really do. Because as we all know what's going to happen, the theme parks are going to close again. So I must stress, we all must follow all the different rules that are going into place at these theme parks, just to really try and help, really, when it comes to containing this virus. But as much as it's very positive that things are reopening, we can't forget what's going on in the world either. And these key workers that have been keeping the country moving all throughout the start of this year, they've just got to keep on going, you know, and they've done an amazing job so far. They're going to carry on. So anyway, without further ado, once again, welcome to everyone. Over 1,000 people joining us live here on YouTube. If you're watching this afterwards and it's not live, then of course, no worries, you'll be able to see all the different information after it's live as well. So stick about in the video. So here we go, let's get started. Let's firstly talk a little bit about then the theme parks that are going to be reopening starting from the 4th of July this Saturday. So firstly, these theme parks are all opening from this Saturday, so I'll read them all out for you. So we've got Alton Towers, Blackpool Pleasure Beach, Poultons Park, Legoland Windsor, Chessington World of Adventures, Thorpe Park, Fantasy Island, Pleasurewood Hills, Adventure Island and Drayton Manor. However, at Drayton Manor is going to be limited rides and the majority of the rides are going to open from the 17th of July. So just want to say, you know, these aren't all the theme parks in the UK that are opening on that date. I know there's some other attractions. I thought, you know, I could spend hours listing everything off that's reopening because it's not just theme parks, it's some museums and other tourist attractions, that sort of thing. But yeah, with this, they're the theme parks that are opening. You might be all thinking, if you've not heard already, where are we going to be as Theme Park Worldwide from this Saturday? We're going to be at Alton Towers. Of course, it's the home park, it's the park that I've grown up with. I couldn't even think of another place to be. Honestly, Alton Towers, as much as I love Blackpool Pleasure Beach, I think some people are thinking, come on Sean, you know, are we going to be at Blackpool or are we going to be at Alton Towers? But no, going to be at Alton Towers, and then on the Sunday, going to be at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. So that is the plan for this weekend. Following on from that, we're going to be visiting some other UK theme parks across Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. The likes of Thorpe Park, Chessington World Adventures, Legoland Windsor, and sharing as many updates about all the different changes that these theme parks are making. Now, as I mentioned it's all about making sure that we follow all of these different rules and restrictions. And some of the things that you are going to need at a theme park is a mask. Here we go. I nearly brought it in the wrong way around then. Let me do a more grand reveal. There we go. Is the mask. There we go. So yes, like, of course, these masks, in terms of do you need to wear them at theme parks and on rides, there's different rules for all the different parks. And if you're visiting these parks, then yes, you want to be making sure you check out their official website and social media channels just to make sure that you're following the rules of that park. And we'll be doing that, as much as we visit theme parks all the time. This is different for everyone at the moment. It really is. We're all having to deal with this at the moment. So, even we're learning. But when we visit these theme parks, of course, we'll be following every single rule, regulation that is in place at these parks. And honestly, we really urge you to do that. You want me to put the mask on? I can put it on. My glasses might steam up a bit for you because it happens with these. But here we go. So you might have noticed when I filmed some vlogs, I've actually took my glasses off. Of course, if I don't have it covering my nose, that isn't the case. But then the mask is a bit pointless, isn't it? You want it covering the nose, like that. And sometimes I'll take my glasses off. This is like the look of Sean, what you're going to be seeing in these future vlogs. Loving the music in the background. Wow, I'm glad that you're enjoying it. Loads of comments coming tonight. Fantastic. Thank you so much for all of your support. But so these masks, this is becoming the normal. And I've worn a mask in quite a few videos recently. See what I mean? I'm steaming up. In quite a few videos recently. And people have said, Sean, don't wear the mask, or you look stupid with the mask on. At the end of the day, they're the rules that are in place at some theme parks, so I will be following that, and that's the end of it at the end of the day. Of course, if we're at a theme park that doesn't require them to be worn, yes, we might not wear them in every area if it's not needed. But there's some parts, Alton Towers, Blackpool Pleasure Beach, where there's certain rides where you will need to wear the mask. But I'll be saving that waiting for Saturday. I'll get that washed. Waiting for Saturday. But I know a lot of people have said, Sean, where can you get the theme park worldwide masks from? Honestly, I've tried so hard to contact Teespring, who does all the merchandise for me on the channel. And with those guys, they're not actually selling branded masks at the moment. They're not doing them at all, which is a shame because I would have loved to have done them through Teespring. Of course, another option would have been me buying loads of these and posting them out. And I thought the issue is with that, I'm going to be so busy starting from this Saturday. I'm busy all the time as it is, but from this Saturday even more so. So it's kind of like, I don't want to leave you guys waiting. I could have bought loads, sent them out and post them, but it would have took a long time to do that. So, but yeah, that's with the masks. So, I'm really glad that you like them there. Of course, we'll be keeping them on brand whilst we're going to the park. So, oh, there we go. Matt says Teespring have just announced they're doing them. So, there we go. I'll be looking into that after the stream then. And if so, of course, I'll be looking at doing the theme park worldwide masks. So many of you represent the channel with merchandise. I really, really appreciate that. So yeah, hopefully we'll look at getting some masks done at some point in the future. Once again, just a quick recap on them parks that we're going to be visiting this weekend. Alton Towers Saturday and Blackpool Pleasure Beach Sunday. Of course, we're going to be very, very busy with everything going on at the parks. But if you do see us whilst we're there, feel free to say hello. Really, it's always nice to meet our fans of the channel. But yes, let's move on a little bit then. Some other parks that are going to be opening a little bit later here in the UK. Starting off with the 5th of July, Flamingo Land. Now, this was from a news report that was put on in the local area that Flamingo Land was going to be opening. So they've not actually put anything on the website yet about this. I know there's a lot of people that own caravans and that sort of thing that are thinking, hang on a minute, what's going on with it all? So actually, what Flamingo Land have said is nothing on social media. So, the news have said that this is happening. Let's see what happens with that one. We don't know at the moment, but here we go. On the 6th of July, Creeley is going to be opening. So Creeley's another one. 11th of July, Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach. They've changed their operation, and much like some other parks, where they've made it like a gated off park, you've got like time slots, and you'll need to have a time slot to actually go in there. So that's what's going to be happening. Thanks, Gary, for your super chat. Really appreciate it. Quite a few coming in. Loads of comments tonight. Thank you so much for all of your support. We really appreciate it here at Theme Park Worldwide. It's been a tough time for us all with everything going on at the moment, but from Saturday, that is it. We are back in the parks, and honestly, there's going to be so much coming. There really is. So much to look forward to. But yeah, thanks for all your super chats. Really appreciate it. I always try my best to shout out as many as I can do, but as you're probably aware, it's a lot to try and keep up on. But honestly, really appreciate all of your support on the content. And like I say, any money that is donated in the super chats goes straight back into the channel. We just bought some new camera equipment actually. So yeah, they're going to be putting that into use at the parks. So yeah, there's a lot that's going to be coming up. Honestly, so much to be excited about. Shout out to Alex there as well. Thanks for your support. So yeah, here we go then. Let's carry on with talking about some other parks. So Pleasureland and Southport is set to reopen on the 11th of July. They're also going to be doing a gated off style attraction. Before, with that, you sort of could just walk in, pay per ride. They didn't actually even do wristbands. That wasn't even an option. That is going to be changing, and you will be a time slot, what you have to do with that one. So yeah, that is for Pleasureland Southport. I mentioned it just, but Fantasy Island, they are reopening in Ingolmel, Skegness. They're reopening this Saturday from the 4th. They've also changed their operation in terms of you're going to need to have like a pre-booked wristband to be able to enter the site. Looking forward to seeing how that works for them, actually, because you think, you know, they've got to put fencing all the way around the site. It's very open. You've got the pyramid, and then you've got all this area that's very open around the side. So I think it'll be really, really interesting just to see what they do with that. But we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to getting back in the parks. Most importantly, you know, supporting them, like buying these tickets and going to these theme parks. You know, I'm really looking forward to that. And of course, sharing updates. There's so many people who've said, Sean, we're going to wait until you've done videos from certain places before we know if it's worth going. So, you know, I appreciate that. That's the plan, to kind of keep you guys in the loop. I don't want you spending money if I don't think it's worth it. I'll be completely honest, as always, with these videos, and keep you in the loop with what's going on. Thanks, Jenny, for your support today there. Theme Park Screamers, really, really appreciate it. Let's move on to some other parks. 18th of July, Lightwater Valley. So they're going to be reopening on that date. However, there's a few rides that aren't going to be opening. The signature attraction, the Ultimate, that's not opening. Raptor Attack, their indoor coaster, and also Apollo, that's not going to be opening either. So it's one of them things with Lightwater Valley. I'll be visiting this summer. I'll be visiting as many different theme parks as I can do. However, you know, in terms of Lightwater Valley, it's one to think about, isn't it, with that? There's a few signature rides that are going to be closed there that isn't amazing. But yeah, in terms of like the UK parks, just a quick recap. So what's going to be reopening in major parks in the UK from the 4th of July: Alton Towers, Blackpool Pleasure Beach, Paultons Park, Legoland Windsor, Chessington World of Adventures, Thorpe Park, Fantasy Island, Pleasurewood Hills, Adventure Island and Drayton Manor, all starting operation in some capacity from this weekend. In terms of Alton Towers, I mean, I've got a bit of a Q&A coming up later, so I'll answer some of your questions there. But yeah, you know, let's see what happens in terms of the operation at Alton Towers. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I used to work there, know a lot of people that work there now, and I really support the park. So let's see what is going to be happening in terms of the operation at these parks. It's going to be amazing to see, and of course cover that as well. Thank you, Ellie, for your super chat. Really appreciate your support tonight. So yes, let's move on then next to talk a little bit about, before we get into the Q&A, a little bit about what else we're going to be doing on Theme Park Worldwide this summer. So like I say, it was a great start to the year with a trip to California, and then following on from that, it was all a bit downhill from there, as expected, you know, with COVID-19, of course, this horrible pandemic that has taken over the world. It really has. And once again, just want to say a big special shout out to all of those key workers that have kept this country moving. And of course, with Theme Park Worldwide, people watch us from all over the world. Not just here in the UK. So wherever you're from in the world, you know, if you're a key worker, you've got our full backing. Honestly, really appreciate it. And let's hope that everybody out there can follow the rules and restrictions in place at the parks to keep everybody safe. So yes, in terms of what we've got coming up then, so I've mentioned, you know, we've got 5 theme park days sort of in a row starting off from this weekend. Towards the back end of next week, thanks to restrictions that are easing here in the UK, we are planning to go on a Europe road trip. This is going to be me and Charlotte. We're looking at doing a road trip that's actually going to span over 2 weeks. And in that 2 weeks, we're going to be visiting a lot of theme parks. We really are. It's going to be absolutely crazy. Just see people hashtagging NHS there. Honestly, everybody in the NHS and all them key workers, the people that sometimes people don't mention as much as well, such as supermarket workers and taxi drivers who've been taking people to hospitals and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, let's, you know, spread the love for the NHS tonight in the comments. Everyone's done an amazing job, and they really have, and they're going to keep doing that amazing job. Like I say, just because things are starting to get a little bit back to normal, that doesn't mean it's the end of this. It really doesn't. And these people need our backing, they need our support to keep this country going. They really do. So The big road trip will be starting towards the end of next week. It's going to last over 2 weeks, and we're going to be visiting various different theme parks. In fact, we're going to be visiting more theme parks and more major theme parks in this trip than we ever have done in a row. So it's going to be epic. Normally, of course, we do a lot of trips sort of span throughout the year over to Europe. We kind of go out to Disneyland Paris and then come home. We'd go to Europa Park, then come home. We'd go to Phantasialand, then come home. We'd go to Efteling and then come home. Not this time, because all 4 of them parks we're going to be visiting on this trip. We're going to be at all of those during the trip. So Disneyland Paris, Europa Park, Phantasialand and Efteling. We're going to be at all of those within the next few weeks, bringing updates for you all here on Theme Park Worldwide. Thanks to Pac-Man and also Joshua for your super chats. Really appreciate your support. So yeah, we're going to be going to all 4 of them parks. But not only that, we're also going to be visiting some other parks along the way. Now, of course, this is all subject to change, dependent on different countries' rules and if they go back into lockdown and all that kind of stuff. So, of course, we're going to be travelling out into mainland Europe at the end of next week, and then the trip can very much change if it needs to. So that is the provisional plan. Of course, we've got to get park tickets. We're going to be buying all our park tickets in advance, of course, like you need to for these parks. So yeah, let's make sure that everyone is making sure they're aware of that, because I think some people might still think that they can just turn up at parks. That isn't the case. You need to actually make sure that you can actually go into the parks and you've pre-booked. But yeah, so that's going to be starting from the back end of next week. Of course, travel restrictions are going to be changing. We're not going to be flying for this trip. It's a road trip. We're going to be taking the car over from the UK. But as always, things are subject to change. So it'll be Europa Park, Disneyland Paris, Efteling and Phantasialand, and also a mix as well of different European parks. So as always, any theme park out there in the world gets our support here at Theme Park Worldwide. Really looking forward to just getting back out there, seeing these parks, and there's going to be so much content coming. Honestly, it's full systems go. From tonight, it's full systems go. But in terms of from this Saturday, there's going to be constant vlogs, constant videos coming out on Theme Park Worldwide. It really is an exciting time for the channel moving forward. It really is. We've all had a few months where things have been really tough. Everyone's felt it all across the world. So let's just hope that we're going to get some positivity moving forward because of all this. Really, really looking forward to it and getting back in the parks. Really can't wait for it. So yes, that's our trip coming up around France, the Netherlands, Belgium and Germany. Subject to change, like I say, we might get over there the first week and then Germany, for example, announces that we're not allowed to enter. That may happen. So, we've got to be prepared. That's the provisional trip. That's what we're hoping to do, but things might change. That's why we're not going to put any dates out there at the moment in terms of when we're going to be at parks and that sort of thing. We're going to keep it, all very last minute, because we don't know which things we're going to be able to do when. But yeah, it's going to be really exciting. It's going to be me and Charlotte on that trip, and really looking forward to sharing that with all of you guys. So should we move on to a few questions that we've got? Oh, a bit of the old Tower Street music in the background there. Love a bit of old Tower Street. Let's move on to some questions then. So that's talking about the UK parks reopening, along with, of course, going on about our road trip that we're going to be doing. And honestly, it's going to be epic. So much support coming in tonight. Honestly, I really appreciate it. It's been tough for everybody at the moment, but when things happen like this, you've really just got to, go out there and make the most of your life. That's what I say. There's too much negativity and hate in this world. We've got to get out there, support the parks. They're all going to need it. Big parks, small parks, places here in the UK, abroad, of course, if it's safe to do so. But please, I beg you, just make sure you do follow all these different rules and restrictions at these parks. A lot of them have spent so much time. I've been chatting with quite a few parks this week. They've been putting so much work, time, energy and effort into putting all of this together. To be able to reopen and be COVID secure. So let's just make sure we're all following these different rules. So here we go. Let's move on to some questions, shall we? What we've got. So of course on social media this week we've posted out there, Facebook, Instagram, all these different ways that you can send questions to us, and I've got quite a few to go through tonight. So here we go. We'll start off with William just here, who's asked me if you could remove one themed area from any theme park and could replace it with any other themed area, which would you remove and what would you change it to? Really good question. So, thanks there, Coaster Spot, for your support. #NHS. Give them all the support. Thanks a lot. So yeah, with that question, in terms of a themed area that really bugs me at the moment, it's Dark Forest at Alton Towers. Like, I love the park, but I tell you what, Dark Forest is looking in a bit of a state with all the scaffolding around by Rita and stuff. Bear in mind, that wasn't originally supposed to be part of the area. In terms of the scaffolding over on 13, that was, but around by Rita, that was a later addition. So I'd love to see Dark Forest rethemed, maybe change it into steampunk. But thanks for your question there. William, Tom has asked, what's one roller coaster you still haven't been on that you hope to ride one day? There's one coaster that really shines through to me with this one, and that's the DC Rivals Hyper Coaster at Warner Brothers Movie World in Australia. I'd love to go and ride it. It's a Mac ride. I'd really love to go and give that a ride. But there you go. Thanks for your question, Tom. We've got a question from Jesse. If you could have your favourite flat ride in the whole of the world at any park you want, which ride would it be and at which park? So I would pick Loki, which is an interming gyro swing at Liseberg in Sweden, and I'd have that at Alton Towers because it's my local park and it's one of my favourite flats, of course, and actually rip out Blade. And actually try and dig it into the pit there, because I think if they actually dug that pit out a little bit more for Blade, they could actually put a really, really nice gyro swing in there. I really would. I'm hoping that that's something what they could do in the future. Thanks Josh for your support. Really appreciate it over from the USA. Of course, everybody in the USA sending out love to all of you at the moment. In terms of us traveling over there, of course we're not allowed to at the moment, but you never know, later in the year, you know, more likely into 2021 now, before we're going to be back over there in the USA. But honestly, just want to send, you know, all love out to everybody over there in the USA with everything that's going on. But yes, on to the next question then now. That's from Kieran. Will we be visiting the smaller parks when they reopen and supporting them? Yes, every single theme park out there gets our support. Honestly, we're really at a point now where there's some businesses here that have either gone into administration or are on the sort of brink of that. They need the support, they really do. So, you know, the fact they've put the work in to make them COVID secure, let's go out there and support these parks. So yes, answer that one, Kieran, is we're going to be going to all parks, starting off with some of the bigger parks, then making our way over to Europe, and then this summer we'll be doing all sorts of parks here in the United Kingdom, and potentially going back over to do some more European parks, but we'll have to see with that one. You know, we'll keep you in suspense. And I say suspense, it all depends on what happens with restrictions and local lockdowns and all that kind of stuff as well. So Dan has asked, what do I think will be happening to Halloween this year? Will it be affected at theme parks? I would say it's definitely going to be affected. You know, in terms of all these Halloween events going to be running, possibly so. I mean, look at Alton Towers Scarefest, for example. You know, there's been preparations going on and it's still advertised. Same with Thorpe Park Fright Night. So let's see what happens. But Halloween will be different this year. We know it's going to be different. But let's just keep, you know, working forwards to think, you know, every step at a time, every month at a time, isn't it, at the moment? If things are a lot better by then let's see what happens. You know, we really will. But yeah, fingers crossed for some Halloween this year, but only so if it's safe to do so with that one. Marcus has asked, have you been keeping an eye on the construction of the new Universal Orlando Jurassic Park roller coaster? If so, what are your thoughts and will you be going to ride? I am loving the look of it. I actually filmed a video a couple of weeks back, thanks to Brett, who went out there, who lives in Florida, went to the park when it opened for annual pass holders, and got some really, really nice photos and stuff that I shared in the video. So I'll go into a bit more detail there. However, with that, I think it's looking really, really good. I like the look of the layout of the ride, the fact that you're going to have this big sort of top hat down at the bottom of the entrance area. I think it's going to be absolutely awesome over the lake. Big shout out there as well to all these people tonight who are sending super chats. We've got Roy Scott just there. Honestly, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. He said, what did you think of the experience in Super Nintendo World? Honestly, it looks great. From what we've seen so far, it's looking really, really good, isn't it? So yeah, I hope to really go and see that at some point in the future and get out there, of course, to Japan. But thanks so much, Roy, for all your support. Really appreciate it. Also to Daryl Thompson, thank you very much. Oh, we're going to all the Scottish parks. Well, you know, I am going to be making my way back up there. As we know, M&D's has kind of had a revival, which is good. So that kind of means that I'm going to be back up there supporting them, and then sort of moving on from that and try and do some other parks up there as well. That is the plan. So yeah, again, thank you very much for all your support coming in tonight. Really, really appreciate it. It's an exciting time to be an enthusiast at the moment, and it's an exciting time for the theme parks and for Theme Park Worldwide. Honestly, we've waited for this moment since March. Like, you know, the last roller coasters and attractions we went on was back in March. That is a long time away. So, you know, I'm looking forward to just getting back out there. Honestly, I really am. And it's what I love. It's my passion, getting out there to the parks and, of course, taking you guys along for the journey with me. So yeah, let's keep reading out some more questions, shall we, about what we've had sent in on social media this week. So yes, Abigail has asked, do I think that prices for theme parks will increase, reduce or stay the same with limited capacity? Really good question. So as we've seen at the moment, some parks are seeming to work out better value. They're doing deals to get more people back. Other parks are looking like they've put the prices up a little bit. So it's one of them, isn't it? If you really want to visit somewhere and you feel like it's going to be safe and it's COVID secure and you're safe to go, then I'd say just go for it. But yeah, I do think we're going to see a lot of pricing changes. We've already seen that with Pleasure Beach, for example, in Blackpool. They've made changes where, you know, there's going to be no sort of just walking about this year unless you've reserved a wristband to go in. That's the same that we know for other parts. Fantasy Island have done that. However, there is like a non-rider wristband. I think that's £5 for you to go in there and just sort of walk around. But yeah, so, you know, there's a lot of changes coming in, but I do think there's going to be some changes. Expedition Theme Park, good to see you. Yeah, looking forward to, of course, seeing you again at some parks in the future, whether it's here in the UK or over in the US, who knows, but let's see what happens going forward. But yeah, great question there from Abigail about the price increase at parks. Carol has asked, do I know if Alton Towers will be selling masks at the park? Yes, they are going to. So we went to Towers Trading the other day. There was no masks on sale at the moment. If there was, would have filmed them in the vlog, of course. But yeah, they are going to be selling them. They've confirmed that, but we don't know when from. Maybe from this Saturday. Let's see what happens. But you know, if so, again, we'll cover them in the vlog on Theme Park Worldwide. This Saturday, back at Alton Towers, rides are opening, and I cannot wait. Don't get me wrong, I've loved the gardens and walking around the grounds, but, you know, rides are opening, and it's going to be absolutely awesome. Cannot wait for that. Next up to the question from Georgia. How is everyone in the Theme Park Worldwide family coping during lockdown? Honestly, thank you so much for that. We've tried our best. I think, you know, I'd be lying to say if I hadn't had tough times during this. We all have. You know, every single person's been affected by this all throughout the world. Everybody knows what's going on. So let's just sort of see what happens moving forward. But fingers crossed, we are, you know, seeing that light at the end of the tunnel. It's not the end, but, you know, we've tried to keep busy. I mean, we've done so much content on Theme Park Worldwide. You know, we've done the baking videos, restoring the Alton Towers bookworm. There's been reviews coming out, live streams, so much stuff that I've never done before. So, you know, and that's the plan. A lot of people have also said, Sean, are you going to be stopping the live streams? Are you going to be stopping, you know, doing some of these videos that you've done during lockdown? Not at all. I know that you guys have enjoyed the different stuff that's been happening. So that's the plan, to actually keep trying to, you know, to keep bringing some different content to all of you out there. James has asked, am I looking forward to the World of David Walliams this year? Well, actually, it's not opening this year now, David. It's 2021, and that's the case for some other additions that were planned to open this year. It's the same for Tornado Springs, the big expansion at Paultons Park. That has now also been delayed to 2021. And I put a video on yesterday about Flamingo Land and their 10 inversion coaster. And with that, that's also looking like it's going to be 2021 for that one. But got time for another couple of questions just here. So we've got Kyle, cost and travel plan for Energylandia from the UK. Quite simple. It's quite a cheap part to go to, really. What you want to do is get your flights booked to either Krakow or Katowice. I'm not too sure if I'm pronouncing that right. My pronunciation's awful. But yeah, get yourself booked out to either of those. Nice cheap flights. And then you can either hire a car, which is relatively cheap, or Uber. That's what I did. I got an Uber going out there as well. So we'll have one more question for tonight before we wrap up tonight's live stream. And this has come from Joe. So yeah, we'll go for this one because it's quite a you know, it's quite an interesting one. This one that's talked about quite a lot. So which UK theme park will be the first to get an RMC? Now, you know, let's face it, with investments and future stuff at the moment, who knows what's going to be happening in terms of future investments. I can't see a major roller coaster other than stuff that's already been announced, such as Flamingo Land or Tornado Springs with Storm Chaser, actually going out there, and opening in the future. I really can't see many more parks opening stuff in the next couple of years. They need to, be making money again. So in terms of an RMC, Joe, I'm thinking, if there was one to open, it may possibly be at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, maybe Thorpe Park, maybe Alton Towers. They're the three parks that I could see one maybe opening at. But who knows? Let's see what happens with that one moving forward. But there you go. Of course, we've got hundreds of different questions that have been coming in. What's an RMC? Someone said. Let me just clear that up. Rocky Mountain Construction. It's a hybrid coaster. We've talked about it before on the channel, so check out my Zardra review actually that I posted about a month back for some more details. But yeah, honestly, with that one, I'd love to see an RMC. I really would. But yeah, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who's joined us tonight. Just a quick recap of what's going to be happening on Theme Park Worldwide. This Saturday, we're going to be at Alton Towers. Sunday, at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. And following on from that, we're going to be visiting some other UK parks before, at the end of next week, actually heading out and doing a Europe road trip. Me and Charlotte together, going out there and seeing some more theme parks. Honestly, it's going to be really, really exciting. Looking forward to it. And following on from that, we'll be back in the UK visiting a variety of parks, and we'll kind of see what happens with that one. But just want to say a big thank you to everyone who sent super chats tonight. Really appreciate it. Honestly, it really is so kind of you as well. I just want to say thank you to Coaster Daft. What do I think of SeaWorld's problems? It certainly sounded interesting. So, for those of you that don't know, SeaWorld at the moment are having issues in terms of payments for some of their new coasters. So who knows what's going to happen. I've heard all sorts of stuff this week, so let's see what happens with that one. But I really hope that they can manage to pull through, because what they're doing with Iron Gwazi looks like it's going to be really, really good. And also as well, some extra support coming in from Roy Scott. Honestly, wishing us all well, Sean and the gang. Honestly, thank you so much for all your support. We really appreciate it. But in the meantime, this is it. Theme parks are reopening from this Saturday. Let's get out there. Let's support the parks. And finally, let's just say, again, one big shout out to all of them key workers that have kept and are keeping the UK and everyone across the world safe at the moment and doing the best that they can. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, this isn't over. We need to keep fighting against this virus. And from moving on from that, let's just hope that everything can return to normal as soon as it can do. But for now, let's follow these rules and restrictions, and let's just hope the best we can. Just want to say a big thank you to my wonderful girlfriend Charlotte, and also Alex and Krista for helping out with the moderation tonight of the comments. That is it. Theme parks are reopening, and good night from us here at Theme Park Worldwide. Thank you so much for all of your support. We really, really appreciate it. See you later, everyone.